First Chronicles chapter 27. Army Groups. This is the list of the relatives who served the king in the army. Each group was on duty 1 month each year. They were rulers of families, captains, generals, and the court officers who served the king. Each army group had 24,000 men. Jashobeam, son of Zabdiel, was in charge of the first group for the first month. There were 24,000 men in Jashobeam's group. Jashobeam, one of Perez's descendants, was leader of all the army officers for the first month. Dodai, from the Ahohites, was in charge of the army group for the second month. Mikloth was a leader in that group. There were 24,000 men in Dodai's group. The third commander for the third month was Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, the leading priest. There were 24,000 men in Benaiah's group. He was the same Benaiah who was a brave soldier for the 30 heroes. He led these men. His son, Amizabad, was in charge of Benaiah's group. The fourth commander for the fourth month was Asahel, the brother of Joab. Later, Asahel's son Zebadiah took his place as commander. There were 24,000 men in Asahel's group. The fifth commander for the fifth month was Shamhuth from Zerah's family. There were 24,000 men in Shamhuth's group. The sixth commander for the sixth month was Ira, son of Ikesh, from the town of Tekoa. There were 24,000 men in Ira's group. The seventh commander for the seventh month was Helez, from the Pelonites, and a descendant of Ephraim. There were 24,000 men in Helez's group. The eighth commander for the eighth month was Sibbecai, from the Hushah, and from Zerah's family. There were 24,000 men in Sibbecai's group. The ninth commander for the ninth month was Abiezer, from the town of Anathoth, and the tribe of Benjamin. There were 24,000 men in Abiezer's group. The 10th commander for the 10th month was Maharai, from the Netophah, and from Zerah's family. There are 24,000 men in Maharai's group. The 11th commander for the 11th month was Benaiah, from Pirathon, and the tribe of Ephraim. There were 24,000 men in Benaiah's group. The 12th commander for the 12th month was Heldai, from the Netophah, and from Othniel's family. There were 24,000 men in Heldai's group. Leaders of the tribes of Israel. These were the leaders of the tribes of Israel. Eliezer, son of Zikri, leader of the tribe of Reuben. Shephatiah, son of Maacah, leader of the tribe of Simeon. Hashabiah, son of Kemuel, leader of the tribe of Levi. Zadok, leader of the people of Aaron. Elihu, one of David's brothers, leader of the tribe of Judah. Omri, son of Michael, leader of the tribe of Issachar. Ishmaiah, son of Obadiah, leader of the tribe of Zebulun. Jeremoth, son of Azriel, leader of the tribe of Naphtali. Hoshea, son of Azaziah, leader of the tribe of Ephraim. Joel, son of Pedaiah, leader of the west, Manasseh. Edo, son of Zechariah, leader of the east, Manasseh. Jaaziel, son of Abner, leader of the tribe of Benjamin. Azarel, son of Jeroham, leader of the tribe of Dan. These were the leaders of the tribes of Israel. David counts the Israelites. David decided to count the men in Israel. There were very many people because the Lord had promised to make the Israelites as many as the stars in the sky. So David counted only the men who were 20 years old or older. Joab, son of Zeruiah, began to count the people, but he did not finish. God became angry with the Israelites. That is why the number of the people was not put in the book, the history of the King David. The king's administrators. This is the list of the men who were responsible for the king's property. Asmaveth, son of Adiel, was in charge of the king's storerooms. Jonathan, son of Uzziah, was in charge of the storerooms in the small towns, villages, fields, and towers. Ezri, son of Kilub, was in charge of the field workers. Shimei from Ramah was in charge of the vineyards. Zabdi from Shepham was in charge of the storage and care of the wine that came from the vineyards. Baal-Hanan from Geder was in charge of the olive trees and sycamore trees in the western hill country. Joash was in charge of storing the olive oil. Shithrai from Sharon was in charge of the cattle around Sharon. Shaphat, son of Adlai, was in charge of the cattle in the valleys. Obil, the Ishmaelite, was in charge of the camels. Jehadiah, the Meronothite, was in charge of the donkeys. Jaziz, the Hagrite, was in charge of the sheep. All these men were the leaders who took care of King David's property. Jonathan was a wise counselor and a scribe. He was David's uncle. Jehiel, son of Hakmoni, took care of the king's sons. Ahithophel was the king's counselor. Hushai was the king's friend. Hushai was from the Archites. Jehoiada and Abiathar later took Ahithophel's place as the king's counselor. Jehoiada was Benaiah's son. Joab was the commander of the king's army.